Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Netflix's Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Season 2, Episode 2. It's called the Austere Academy Part 2. Full spoilers for the episode. And someone in the comments did remind me what my joke was in Season 1, where I added an extra thing to the title every week, or every episode, so that the intro kept getting longer. Which I did remember once they said so.
Are you planning on reinstating that?
I don't know if I've got it in me. I'm not sure what else I can add. I should go back and watch the start of the finale review from last season.
See what you ended on.
Yeah, see what we ended with. I don't know if I could keep doing that. Maybe I'll try and top it with episode 3. I don't know. No promises. So yeah, so this is the second part. Obviously, something we didn't mention in the last one is that, of course, like season 1, each book is over 2 episodes. So this season's a longer season because there's the five books for this season. Was 4 last season. Season 3 will be 4 books as well. So one had to have one more, and season 2 is going to be the longer one. So it's 10 episodes this season. So this is the second part of the 5th book in the series, I suppose. So
yes.
So obviously, so actually something I wanted to mention from the last episode that I forgot to bring up because it popped up immediately again in this one, and I went, "Damn, I can't believe I didn't mention that," because I thought that was hilarious. And that is the school's mascot being a dead horse. Because you can't beat it.
Yes. Yeah.
What can't you beat? Dead horse! Oh, it's glorious.
It cracked me up.
First thing I want to say, actually, there's a couple of fantastically cruel jokes in this one that I loved. And they were both the similar sort of genre joke. The first one was when the Baudelaires say to Count Olaf, when he's pretending to be the gym teacher, of course, but they say to him, "Our parents taught us to survive," and he steps in and goes, "Well, I suppose if you can't do, you teach." And I went, "Damn, that was a dark joke."
Yeah.
That was good. And then the one later on is when they show up late for their after-class running, for the night, and the shop's like, "Oh, I was going to call you the late Baudelaires, or is that your parents?" I went, "Damn! Oh, I'm sitting with the zingers today."
Yes. I love how evil this show is, essentially.
Great. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm going with all the little jokes first that really crap up before we talk about the plot. But another little joke I love is when Mr. Poe showed up and he had like all these bags of candy with him, right? And obviously there's a running thing here where the vice principal really likes candy. Mr. Poe, as we've seen him do in the past, like starts coughing, and like after each cough, he keeps going. The vice principal keeps going, "Why on the candy? Why on the candy?" Do you know what cracked
me up more about this?
Yeah.
While he's coughing, between he's saying these things, he's just staring down at the candy, going, he's just giving this glare, going, "What are you doing? Stop it."
That's just it was great. Yeah. It was the pace of it because he kept saying it in beat with his coughing perfectly. That's what was cracking me up. So key points I think coming out of this one. The first thing I want to say is the librarian's not dead; she survived, which is notable. I was not seeing that coming, and we have
I'll say the moment I did see it coming is they're talking about the darkest day and all the future of all these characters, and it gets the librarian. It's like, but her fate is the worst of all. I was like, so the swerve is she's not dead this time. Yeah,
she's going to do something else. Very curious to see what that ends up being, because she seems to be empowered by the end, but she's like, "I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to stick to my principles and do something."
She gives a whole speech that is then repeated. And we're told we don't need to have it heard twice.
Yeah, by Lemony Snicket. And we're introduced to his brother, who shows up to save Larry. The glorious mustache, of course, on this actor.
Absolutely.
Who was the actor, Connor?
I didn't recognise him with the mustache.
Bullshit. What, did he need a brown coat on just so you could tell that it was Nathan Fillion from Firefly?
Yes.
Created by Joss Whedon, who also created the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Damn it, he's got his Buffy reference."
Yep. In fact, you know what? People have pointed out in the past that with him and what's her face, Zoe from Firefly, I could actually just say that
directly do the
characters from Buffy and Angel, because they both appeared on those shows. Yeah. Especially Fillion, because his character was in Buffy specifically, and I could do that. I could reference Caleb, the evil priest that he played in Buffy.
It's quite a major part of that season as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up. It's not until episode 18 he shows up, but yeah, it's quite major once he gets there.
Yeah, he's not there a lot, but he has a big impact.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's good when he shows up. But But hey, so yeah, I'm aware I can do that. I am aware of that.
But you like going the long route because it's more fun.
Yeah, I like going the long route. I like mentioning Firefly because I also love Firefly. So I get to
Any
do
excuse.
both. I get to do both. It's great. So he shows up and saves Larry, and we get this nice moment where Snicket's like next to him. You know, he, obviously not to Nathan Fillion, but he's he's there and he's saying, "Oh, if only I could sing with my brother again." And he starts whistling along with him. It's like, "Oh, okay, all right."
Yeah.
We're filling out this secret organisation and all the members. This is cool. Of
Can't
course,
wait to get more of this.
the big thing, of course, in the episode is that the Baudelaires and the Quagmires are sort of working together more. Like the Quagmires see the photograph and like, hey, that's our parents there, who we saw last season as well. And they dig deeper into all this stuff. In fact, the Quagmires, after disguising themselves as the Baudelaires, with like a bit of a fringe from the cake, display to make a fringe, so she looks kind of like Violet. And enough that Olaf will think it's Violet.
I mean, we know Olaf struggled to tell them apart anyway. So
Yeah,
this is payoff on that.
Yeah, we set that up, and then some sort of fake glasses for the boy. And my cat is just throwing the door wide open. I'm going to have to deal with that before we continue. So you can continue on. Talk about Sonny being a sack of flour.
See, I'll get to that, but first I want to say that I reckon Olaf hates cats. Just, because they are the worst. They're up there with orphans as being pretty atrocious beings.
How dare you say that? Orphans are way worse than cats. How dare you say that? Orphans are terrible.
Have you ever seen Olaf with a cat?
Well, no, he's not trying to extort a cat.
No, because he's already killed them all.
Shut up. That was another moment that actually really cracked me up. So the plot of the episode, of course, other than the fact that Olaf is like making them run every single night, so they're dead for this class, and then they're failing all their classes, and they're going to get kicked out. And they say up, okay, you're going to get like a big makeup exam in front of the whole school. You're going to be an assembly style exam where you're at the front doing all your questions, and if you fail, you get kicked out. And that's why we developed this little charade of the others pretending to be them so they can be studying for this stupid exam. By the way, I love that the teacher, the female teacher, is basically using her class to plan a bank robbery by getting them to like, so how thick is the vault door at this bank?
Yeah.
And how far
and there is the
cameras?
bit that says that she's a bank robber and she's just there counting the money in the middle of this like assembly essentially.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that a lot. And so so that's going on. But there's a little moment where it's like everyone's like trying to, because what's her face? Carmelita is like, yeah, well, you're not adorable enough to pass. Kick them out, or fail them, whatever they're chatting, right? And Vice Principal goes, no. I know we all feel a bit, suspicious of orphans, but I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I love this whole bit because then Olaf comes in and gives this whole, do you know what? I haven't done mine yet, and I know Jim counts 51%. And I thought at first this was going to be another one of those, he's put it into his contract, because we set up that, the vice principal didn't read the contract properly and he can do whatever he wants.
And instead the joke is, wait, that is actually true. How did you know that?
Yeah, like that's actually been a thing and that's what got him kicked out of the school.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Just wrestling a cable away from the cat who's pulling at it from behind the monitor.
Cats are awful.
They're great. Cats are great. They're rambunctious. So, a word here that means I'm kidding. So you have all this. So it's all good fun, of course. But I want to talk about. So obviously, Carmelita is fantastic again. The whole running gag that she keeps doing these little songs and they're shit and they don't rhyme. And then when like she comes up, and I love that they put her out the mat and she comes up with a hand in the hip like a diva, and she does the little song, and it's like, and you know what's funny? The one she sings right before that's like, up until the end, that one mostly rhymed. And Violet kind of wakes up and goes, I don't know if I'm just tired, but I think she's getting better. And I'm like, I think she is getting better. Sounding better.
Yeah.
However,
sorry, on Carmelita.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm going straight there.
Okay.
I'm going straight there.
No holding back on this one.
So whilst they're getting supplies to make their disguises, right? They're in the kitchen. And they hear the door, like someone's coming towards the door, so they'll hide, right? Lights are out, they'll hide. And first of all, before we even get to the moment, I love that Carmelita has a stance and that same dress she always wears. That I knew it was her from the silhouette. Like she's as iconic as Indiana Jones at this point. That is how notable she is. Give her a spin-off, goddammit. I want a Scream Queens-esque show with her as the lead character. That's kind of what I want now in my life.
Kiddie Scream Queens.
Kiddie Scream Queens, yeah. Scream Princesses.
I'm down.
So she sees her, right, and she comes stomping in. She's got her tap shoes on, so there's, the sound effect as she's walking across. Yeah. And she's getting up to the cake. And I have to admit, it didn't occur to me what was about to happen. I just thought she was going to sneak a cake, right? I thought she was going to eat cake, right? So because she's reaching up for the cake, and I'm like, wait, you could easily just lift that down. You're not that small. You can reach up. You could clearly reach it. But she gets a little bucket. She stands up in the bucket. She takes off the lid. And then instead of eating the cake, she just buries her nose in it and takes a big whiff. And I'm like, she's cake sniffing. She's cake sniffing.
This is brilliant.
She's actually a cake sniffer. Which, by the way, I loved it. The fella, when he comes to rescue Larry, and like she confronts him, and he turns around and like sticks up for Larry, and he's like, "I don't appreciate people bullying my friends. And by the way, it takes one to know one." And he does the cheesy, almost who do I want to compare it to? A little bit The Tick, cheesy hero, but maybe it's very more towards it. Like The Tick makes Indiana Jones, I guess, is kind of what I'm thinking in my head. The way he was kind of like talking to her, it had that kind of thing. Anyway, so obviously we're seeing more of him. I think he's going to be the. You know how we had the parents last, Kobe Smulders and Will Arnett, and we kept seeing bits of them. I think Fillion is going to be that.
I am 100% down for that.
Yeah. Oh, of course I'm down for it. I love it.
Joe, I love the surprise as well, because at first, he kicks down the door. He's all in darkness, just the silhouette, and he goes Snicket, and you go, oh, okay. This is cool. Yeah. And then you see it's here. I'm like, oh, different Snicket.
Yeah.
This is way better. I'll get 2 Snickets.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, and of course I'm down with Nathan Fillion being on the show. Of course, why wouldn't I be?
Did you know he was on the show?
I remember hearing about it and then I forgot about it. But I knew it before he showed up because one of the images on Netflix had his face. So I was like,
see, I had no idea. And then he just popped in. I was like, oh, cool.
I didn't know he was in this episode.
Oh, but I didn't know he was in the show at all.
Yeah, but yeah, I knew he was showing up eventually. I just didn't know in what capacity or who he was playing. So, no, all fun stuff. So, cake sniffing. She was actually it's like she's like a little junkie with the cake sniffing.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
When she was doing it, reminded me of Better Call Saul, the squat cobbler.
A little bit.
That's what came to mind.
And she doesn't even take one bite. She just buries her face in it and then puts the lid back on.
This is this show's version of that. This is the cake sniffer is the squat cobbler.
Oh god, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, so she just get. I really hope somehow she shows up again.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to happen. I do like. I mean, I just from seeing the episode title, like it says next up on Netflix. The next one is the something elevator, and I'm like, an elevator. I'm excited, but it's a whole 2-parter set an elevator. I'm down with that. If they're going to do something crazy like that, I'm okay with it.
That's cool. I don't remember exactly. You know what? This is the thing. Obviously, I read the books as a child when they came out, but it was so I don't remember much. I remember vague points. Mostly, I remember the beginning and then towards the end of the story. The individual adventures, not so much.
Yeah, I love that Olaf keeps like taunting the computer. He keeps like testing. Oh, look at that! I'm not Olaf again.
Yeah, whatever. It's just like, oh, did I step in front of that? Oh, would you look at that? Just as you were about to accuse me.
Yeah, and also I like that Poe when he shows up is like, you can't argue with technology, children.
Yeah. He looked his shock when Carmelita said they're in the shack.
Yeah, he's like. Yeah, did you say shack? And then Olaf goes, no one said orphan shack. And come this way to the auditorium.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, it's funny because obviously the Quagmires end up finding the book in the library and then they get kidnapped. That's kind of the big ending. Other than the fact that Olaf, of course, gets found out after the arm wrestling match with the Baudelaires because he challenges for an arm wrestling match. And everyone's kind of okay with this. Poe's not really okay with it, but everyone else is okay with it.
Do you know what I will say disappointed me slightly about this scene?
Mm-hmm.
Sonny's crawled under the table, and I thought, because we haven't got any of it this season, she's going to bite the stuff. She's going to bite the legs on his side. So
right, yeah.
And they'll win that way. But so I was a little disappointed she just took off the shoe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't fault it, but I can't. Yeah, I can't argue it either. But whatever. I'm okay with it.
I did enjoy the shuffling the cards.
Oh, that was great, yeah. Because obviously, as part of the test, they two have to be tested on what their classes were, one of which was the teacher life, and then the other one was the bank robbery, right? But then because she was and also I loved at one point they called her a secretary, and just the subtitle was like administrative assistant. I liked it, but yeah, so it's like, okay, so you have to sort all these cards of kids who owe me candy, but not by name, by the color of candy that I want it in. He just throws it down. He turns it, and as he's sort of monologuing about how she's terrible at it, she just starts like shuffling like it's a deck of cards and like just flying it
like
out.
casino style.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, the CG is a bit obvious, but I'll forgive it.
It always is in this show, but it's like I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. It fits the tone for the most part.
It's one of those where, yeah, it's goofy and stupid, but it's fine.
Yeah. It works with the attitude. Also, I always get a kick out of it anytime they ever. I think it's near the start of the episode at the pep rally still, when Olaf's on stage pretending to be the gym teacher, and he's talking to the kids, and he says something like, "Well, of course you're not doing that well. Otherwise, why would I be here for another batch of episodes in your life?" And I'm like, very meta, very good. Another batch of episodes. Yeah, very good. Good. I also like that they try and make him take off the turban, and he's like, "Oh no," because obviously they're like, "Oh, that's just to hide the monobrow. That's all this is."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh no, we can't do that for religious reasons." It's like, "Yeah, what religion are you?" And the Hookman's like,
said
this
something
thing.
out there. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah, ism.
Yes.
That was basically what he said. He's like, all right, well, what about the tattoo on the ankle? You can take your shoe off. That's not against your religion. Take your shoe off. Like, but it's smelly and gross.
Good enough reason to me.
Of course it is. But no, so it's all yeah. So it's super entertaining. It did advance the main plot quite a bit. We had obviously the other kids being kidnapped. Gives it. I mean, I don't know how long that'll last. If that'll just be till the end of the next story, if it's the whole season. But it does give this odd stakes where it's not just about saving themselves anymore. They've got allies that they want to save.
People to rescue.
Because that was one of the fun things, I think, is that they didn't play them up as rivals, they didn't play them up as anything like that. They did just generally go straight to, okay, we're friends and we like each other. And we're kind
of. They keep saying what friends are for.
And we understand each other because we both had our parents die in fires. That was another thing that I really liked when Olaf's lines, like, so the twins here, they're not twins, they're triplets. And what do you call triplets when one of them is dead? Twins.
Yeah. And when Olaf is giving his introductory speech on the stage, and he starts going on about this woman who died in a mysterious fire.
Oh yeah.
But then carries on, and even the vice principal's like, wait, what was that about, woman?
No, because it's worth mentioning. He builds up to this quite a long time, when he's telling the story about like motivating her or whatever, and to train her, like, you have to do this. You can't slow down. You can't just do this. Because even I had the funny moment where he's like, did I tell her to settle down? I said, did I tell her to settle down? And just silence. And Carmelita's like, probably not. And they'll go, probably not. Damn right, probably not. And then he goes on. It goes on for a while until eventually, like, and then she died in a fire. And then he just kept going. And the vice principal just kept going. But about the woman, about the story you were just telling, because he just keeps changing gears. Like, but about the woman you were just telling, it goes on for quite a while.
I thought it was also funny. He had one of the Lemony Snicket moments where he goes, settle. Hereby means to settle.
Yeah, I think what part of what makes some of these jokes work, scenes like this in particular, is the rhythm. It's like a constant musical beat of comedy where it's bouncing back and forth between two characters like that.
Yeah, the timing is excellent.
So it's very effective in that sense. And like I say, the stakes have been risen. We've got people to save. Who knows where Poe's taking the kids now, and even why he should take them away? Because technically speaking, there's no reason to take them away from the school at this point.
There's not. They're supposed to stay there for the rest of the trimester. Yeah.
Unless we do a bit of a time jump, which is always possible.
It is.
Yeah. Help explain why the kid's looking a bit older every so often.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well have done that at the start of the season if you were going to do that, but hey.
It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, I don't really care. They had the meta joke. I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Yeah, of course, exactly. So,
it was bothering me over the last couple of episodes where I've seen the hench person of indeterminate gender.
Yes.
And I was obviously not. He was in season 1, of course, but I was like, no, I've seen him somewhere else since then.
Yeah.
And I had a look around, and I think it was he was in Stranger Things season 2. He was the older kid in the arcade.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, the one who always wanted to date with the sister.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I recognise them now. Now you've said it. Do you know what's funny? I remember season 1. We kept calling Hook Guy, right? And I was like, we really should know his name by now. And it was like episode 7. We looked at his name, and he's actually credited as Hook-Handed Man.
And there's a joke about that in this
There is,
episode.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, did I ever tell you my nickname?" He's like, "Yeah, what is your name?"
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny that we kind of went that way. Interestingly, the librarian is just credited as the librarian as well. So no, interesting stuff. Solid episode. Again, basically, to sum it all up. I think this was a fun opening 2-part. I liked the school setting. I liked. I don't think this is the best disguise Olaf has had.
No, it was pretty standard.
Yeah, I think my favourites are still the. I mean, outside of him being himself at the start, are probably the second two. I think the women for the last story, and then this one are probably the two weaker ones, but
yeah,
it's still fun enough.
This one was pretty understated by comparison.
Yeah,
to most.
Yeah, also, we never actually mentioned, he's got a turban on, and he's saying that he's religious, but he's got a thick southern accent. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. Well, the lads, he's playing up the stereotypical gym teacher, right?
Yeah.
But with a turban.
Yeah, which is purely just to hide his eyebrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know. So that's... yeah. So I think it's a solid first 2-parter. I think the setting's really good. I really like the supporting characters in this one. So much so that I hope they stick around, especially Carmelita. And I'm confident the librarian is, but Carmelita especially, I really hope she somehow tags along.
I agree. And she's the one I'm most worried about not sticking, because I can see that's it. It's I mean, better than any of the supporting characters in the first season.
Yeah, no. That's
I immediately like these more.
And to be fair, there was more for this. I mean, I think with the Woodmill one aside, they were all pretty much just the one relative, I think, for supporting cast for each of the stories.
Yeah, whereas, maybe one other person with them.
Yeah, whereas this time, this was like a full, no, it was like a whole setting of different people here. We got two, the Quagmires are clearly going to be coming back in some capacity. They're going to be, they're set up for the future, Librarian set up for the future. So it's almost actually a very neat place to have this be the start of a new season, because it kind of feels like it is setting up some new main characters, along with Nathan Fillion's brother character. All of these feel like they've been set up for a new big chunk of the story. So it feels, actually, despite the fact that they've just kind of jumped in, because this is the next book, it does feel like they've, whether or not this was all in this book, or they maybe muddled things around a little bit to make it fit, so that it did feel more like a season.
Yeah, no, I can see that being the case, because it gives the season a defined structure, which is something the first season had as well, with the parents.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the whole thing where we thought that was their parents for the whole season, then the twist is at the end of the second last episode, and then of course it set up the new set of kids at the end. That was the season thing that made it feel a bit more bookmarked. So,
yeah, it was that connective tissue. They give it a season thread rather than just
bookended.
being,
I meant not bookmarked. Bookended.
Yes, but rather than just being individual adventures, it gave it an actual an ongoing thread.
No, yeah, absolutely, and we seem to be getting that with a couple of characters this season. So, good stuff. So yeah, there you go. That is episode 2 of season 2 of A Series of Unfortunate Events. We'll be back soon with episode 3 tomorrow or the day after, most likely. So you can look forward to that. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all the rest of it. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel and the show, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that. There's a link in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. We'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?